everybody, so after receiving requests for this for almost a year, I am finally going to do a review on this Corsets-UK Overbust taffeta waist training corset. So here's the front, the side, the back, and the other side. So for the length and the fit of this, you can see that this gives a very nice hourglass shape, and it actually has ample hip room right here. I actually haven't tied it all the way, and I can still pretty much fit like my hands underneath here. So if you have a very large hip spring, then these overbust corsets would be a nice fit for you. However, I have also tried their underbust corsets and they are not as curvy, so just keep that in mind. The patterns for the overbust and underbust corsets have different measurements. For the profile shot here, you can see the back here has a very straight back, so if you're looking for good posture, this might be good for you. However, if you have more of a sway back, so lumbar lordosis, you may not find this as comfortable. You can also see on the front here, there's a sort of bowing in the busk, so if you have any lower tummy pooch, then this might actually accentuate the bowing in the busk. However, if you have a quite large hip spring, and you can see as this gets pulled outwards, then the busk kind of straightens out at the bottom there. So if you have a large hip spring, then the bowing would probably not be quite as noticeable on you. In terms of the length of this, how I'm wearing it right now, it's sitting right on the hip, so I don't consider it a long length corset. However, since I'm long in the torso, I find that I don't feel very secure in the bust area here. Even though it says it's a sweetheart overbust, on me it feels more like a demi bust. Alright, so here is the corset laying flat, and as you can see, for the material, the outside is this red taffeta and the inside is this cotton twill. Now I want to remind you that this is supposed to be a waist training corset. On the website it says that waist training corsets have 4 to 5 layers of material in it. So I opened it up, I undid one of the seams here just to see what's inside, and I found that there are 2 main layers. Like I said before, there's the outside taffeta and the inside twill. However, both those layers are actually interfaced with this black interfacing here. I don't know if you can see it, it's fusible interfacing. So if you are to consider fusible interfacing to be a true layer, then yes, this corset has 4 layers. If you don't consider interfacing to be a layer, then this only has 2 main layers. For the main construction of this corset, it's made from a 6-panel pattern. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was also able to see the construction clearly when I peeked inside. So how this was constructed is the seams appear to be lock stitched, not top stitched, and then the bones are sandwiched in between the layers of fabric. So you can see that the lining here is attached to the taffeta fabric simply by stitching in the ditch in between the panel seams right there, and then using those 2 interface pieces of fabric, they simply made boning along each seam using the seam allowances for extra support. And if I hold the corset on an angle like this, you might be able to see the faint outline of the waist tape. It's a 1-inch wide waist tape running through the corset, invisibly stitched in between the 2 main layers of fabric. The binding at the top and bottom are made out of black taffeta bias binding. I would have preferred the binding in red to match the rest of the corset, but whatever. It's machine stitched on both the outside and the inside, you can see here. You can see that the outside is a little bit more neat. It was folded under and stitched, and then the rest of it was folded back over the back of the corset, and then it was neatly top stitched, as you can see right there. Here you can see there is an unboned Modesty panel at the back. It's made out of the 2 layers, the main red-black taffeta and then the black twill on the inside. And there is no placket underneath the busk at the front. For the busk here, you can see the busk itself is 12.5 inches long from tip to tip. It has 6 pins on it, and you can see that the 2 lower pins are closer together, so that's good for holding in the tummy pooch. It's a little bit heavy duty, so it's not your standard flexible busk. It's a little bit less than 1 inch wide on each side, so it provides a little bit more support than the standard flexible busk, but as you can see, it is still fairly flexible. Turning the corset on its side here, you can see that it's actually very heavily boned, as it says it's supposed to be, since it's supposed to be a waist training corset. So you can see it's double boned on each seam, so it has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 spiral steel bones on each side, about 1/4 inch wide. When I peeked inside here, I confirmed that yes, it is actual spiral steel boning in here. And on the back here, it's a little bit more than 1/4 inch wide steel flats sandwiching the grommets. They're about 7 millimeters wide. Sorry to be switching back and forth between inches and centimeters. I'm Canadian. So if you double that for both sides, that means there are 24 bones in this total, and they're all very snug in their channels. Here you can see a close-up of the grommets. There are 24 2-part size 0 grommets, so 12 on each side. The grommets are fairly sturdy. They have a moderate lip around them, so there's no fraying around the material, no pulling out. And on the underside here, you can see that there are no splits, quite smooth, and so I have no complaints about the grommets. And here are the laces. You can see that they're round braided nylon laces. They're not flat laces as one would see in other brands of corsets. They glide smoothly through the grommets, and they're extremely strong, very hard to break. The price for this particular corset, the Overbust waist training corset, is about £72 on the website, which converts to about $114 in the US and Canada. However, they always have a 3 for 2 deal on the website, so if you want 3 corsets from them, you only have to pay for the 2 most expensive ones. And now for the bust test. Falling out. Alright, so as you can see, there weren't any obvious pop-outs during any parts of the bust test. However, I feel that I have to give this a 3 out of 4 because while I was raising my arms, I did not feel very secure. I kind of felt like I was pretty close to popping out there. So I would definitely not wear this without anything underneath if I were, say, going to a concert or a party. If I was raising my arms and shrugging or raising my arms and jumping around, I feel that I would be kind of boobling out of this at any moment. Granted, I do have a long torso. I always say that, so if you are a little bit shorter or have a shorter torso, then this might give you a little bit more coverage. I'm going to be reviewing a long line corset from the same manufacturer, from Punk 69 or Corset Wholesale. However, I just got it from Corset Deal instead of Corsets-UK. However, like I said before, same manufacturer, so the fit should be pretty much the same, and same with the quality. So that's all for this review of the Overbust waist training corset from Corsets-UK. I hope you enjoyed this and found it informative. If you did like this video, then please let me know right there. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. And I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye.